Okay, I saw a video from O'Shea Jackson that kind of interests me in this, but I've heard of this since like 2 years ago when I first heard from Candace on a large level where I was actually paying attention. Well, anyway, I can't believe what I heard, honestly, because I didn't know as much as I know now about that whole case with her school when she was in high school. I thought the situation was maybe something to do with specifically real discrimination, but instead it wasn't anything about real discrimination in reality. It wasn't really about someone being disenfranchised from a job or education, and so forth. It was just that she literally sued somebody because some kid called her some bad names. I can't believe this lady sued people for $100,000 because somebody said something to her that hurt her feelings. Like a real fucking snowflake. For real. Like, I can't believe she really sued somebody for $400,000 because some kid called her a name or whatever that had to do with her being black. This is a matter of freedom of speech, honestly. If someone thinks something negative about you because you're black or said something negative about you because you're black, you should have had a good enough upbringing to have thick enough skin not to crumble the fuck away, to be so angry that now you're going to sue people $400,000 because they called you a name. Like, to me, that's just so disgusting and so despicable. And this lady has never apologized. I've seen some people say, I saw O'Shea Jackson, he was cranking out like crazy. Because, they always are, oh, woe is me, and all this bullshit and stuff. They always want to be like, oh, there's racism all abound, and we just gotta cry and coddle ourselves and say, woe is me all fucking day. That's that type of mentality. At least stay true to it. I could understand that. And let us know who you are. Let us know that you are one of those people who literally is against freedom of speech. And if it hurts your feelings enough, you're going to sue us $400,000 if you don't like what we have to say about you. Fragile, snowflake, in your feelings type of individual. That's what I don't appreciate about this story. It's not about the fact that some people are saying the NAACP helped her sue these people and that they had her back or whatever, and then she turned her back or she's two-faced. I don't even know if this would really mean that she was specifically two-faced if she was completely honest, not trying to ignore what happened, not trying to pretend it didn't happen. Face it head on. Face what you did to those people by suing those people just for them basically sharing their thoughts of you, which you could, have negative thoughts of them too. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't sue you just because you had a negative thought of them or said something bad about them, even if it was regarding them being white. But for some reason, you think you're so fucking special that you think that somehow people are not supposed to think negative things about you just because of your race, when people have a right to think whatever the fuck they want about you. And people have every right to see you in whatever way they want to see you. They can say whatever they want to say to you. The thing is, it's discrimination is wrong when it's racist actions, as in, keeping you from job opportunity or educational opportunity. Someone just saying their opinion of you is not affecting you. So that's why I feel like this is a liberal snowflake pretending and masquerading around as if they're not a snowflake. You can't even apologize for the harm you did because you believed that there shouldn't be freedom of speech. Maybe because of the family you come from is not American. And so maybe in your culture, in your country, you guys are taught that freedom of speech is not allowed. But in this country, freedom of speech is allowed, should be allowed. And many of us believe in freedom of speech. And to be trying to pretend that you're on the conservative side, yet you stand by what you did to those people. And you stand by suing people $400,000 for simply calling you whatever name they called you. Implies you don't really believe in what you're saying because you don't apologize. I mean, honestly, for me to see Candace Owens in a better light, in a way where I could actually think she's not two-faced, maybe she's grown from that, she'd have to apologize for what she did. And, honestly, I would say she's a rich woman. You literally sued somebody $400,000 because they called you some names. Well, you can't afford to give that money back. You could at least give the $40,000 you received back, but she won't. And that tells you that since she won't give it back, that she stands by what she did. And she's still in that woke mentality. That's precious snowflake bitch ass mentality. And for me, I just don't support things like that. I don't. I support genuine patriotism. I support genuine free speech. That's what I support. And she's clearly not one of those people. She's clearly not into the true values of Americans because her family didn't even know what that was, apparently. They thought if it made them feel badly, they should have a right to sue. Not understanding that if some random little kid thinks some negative things about you being black, well, it's just a little random kid. What does that kid have control of? Nothing. They don't have control of your education. They don't have control of your access to a job. You should ignore anything a racist person is saying to you and just understand people have different views on being black. I don't understand what's wrong with some of these black people. What were your parents fucking teaching you? I know for me, when I was a kid, I was taught about racism when I was 4 years old. I was prepped and prepared as a young child to understand that some people do not appreciate people being black. Some people have some negative views on being black. I also came with the way of being taught that we've come a long way. We are now allowed the same rights as white people. We're allowed to go to the same schools. We're allowed to have the same job opportunity. We're allowed to have the same public accommodations. Long ago we couldn't even use the bathroom in the same places. Now we can, now we have equal rights. That's what I was taught to focus on, not to focus on what do white people think of me. How many times a white person said something negative to me about being black or whatever. Or to even care if they say anything negative or positive about being black. Dumb fuck. They're not even black. How do they even know what it's like to be black, you dumb fuck? So how can this really affect you? They're not even a black person. They don't know what they're even talking about. But for some reason, because your parents didn't teach you any values or prepare you properly enough to have a good self-esteem about being black, you have to get all butthurt and you're all turned upside down and, having a self-esteem that's all torn apart simply because some white person said something that apparently crushed your spirit enough where you needed to sue them $400,000 because they didn't like the fact that you were black. Do you think suing them made them like that you were black? Just being completely honest. I don't think their feelings about you being black changed for the better. Probably for the worse at this point. So you being troubled that some white person doesn't like that you're black is stupid. And honestly, I think it's a personal problem. I do. I think you need to focus on the fact that why are you bothered by someone who isn't black, doesn't know what it's like to be black, having a negative opinion on you being black? Why do you have an issue with this? You should be comfortable and okay with yourself enough to understand that there are racist people in this world. It's you guys live in sheltered lives and sheltered lifestyles. Personally, for me, I grew up with skinhead neighbors when I was a wee young little kid. Way before 2007. I was maybe 10 years old or so. I never had any issue. I knew full well they were skinheads. Nothing wrong with it. That's their business. What they think about being black is their business. Their thoughts, their freedom of speech, their freedom of expression. You know what I mean? That's how you're supposed to treat racist white people. You're not supposed to freak out, melt into a puddle, and then go cry and sue somebody for $400,000 because they said some things that hurt your damn feelings, when your feelings should have not been so weak towards your blackness that you were able to just break and be sad simply because someone doesn't like that you're black. Do you like that you're black, lady? If you like that you're black, whatever a racist, Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazi, or skinhead thinks about you racially, or anybody else for that matter, thinks about you does not fucking matter. But because you didn't have a strong sense of self, it made you lash out at people in inappropriate ways where you're suing people $400,000 for saying some damn words. So that's all I have to say here. This is what my issue is with Candace Owens. She's not owning up to the wrong she did. Clearly, she doesn't see anything wrong with what she did. And she's not making amends. She's holding on to the money that she benefited from suing people based off of some words they said to her. I just think that that's fucked up. That's really fucked up. And I do think that, yes, she's probably a phony because you're saying that, America is not a racist place nowadays. True, I would agree with that. But I would think that you're saying that if people are racist, that they don't deserve to really exist. Because you do understand that everyone has a right to have their opinion. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech. It's allowed to these people as well. They have to exist in this country just as much as you do. And you have to understand that both people can coexist in the same country and be unaffected by the other, so long as there are no actions done against either side. I don't believe we should try to destroy the lives of people who have racist views. They should have just as much, comfortability in their lives as a black person has in their life. A black person shouldn't have any racist actions done against them either. It's a live and let live situation, but you did not believe in live and let live. Instead, you felt like somebody said something that made me mad, now I'm going to make their life a living hell simply because of their personal beliefs. So that's my main issue with her. I feel like she might be two-faced too. So, yeah. I can't respect this lady unless she makes amends, apologizes, gives the money back. But as for now, I just don't like this person. So that's all I have to say. Like and subscribe, everyone. Comment down below and have a great day. Bye, guys.